Hey there, and welcome to my lazy review of Dune 2 or Dune Part 2, however you want to say it. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was actually happy that they pushed this back into 2024 because honestly, seeing everything else coming out this year, this is by far the only thing I'm actually looking forward to seeing. Damn sure after watching the trailer multiple times. So I'm recording this early on Sunday, February 25th because go to Regal, they have for one night and one time tonight 7 p.m. this early access fan screening. So I'm going to check it out. Also, it's an IMAX. I'm going to grab my kid. I'll get back, tell you guys how I feel about this film. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to get ready. And, well, as always, enjoy my intro. Okay, we are out of Dune 2, and let's see what I get from Regal. I got the, check this out, Dune, collectible, soda, and what'd you get? Oh yeah, the popcorn too. Yeah, Regal, I'm always showing for Regal. And yeah, boy, for a film that's what, 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, basically 3 hours. There's so much to talk about, but the thing is, we caught a 7 o'clock early Regal fan special showing, and now it's 10:30, and he has school in the morning, and of course, I have to head to work, so I'm not going to make a 2 hour long review about Dune Part 2. So I guess we'll just get down to the basics that this takes place basically right after Dune Part 1. And, it's like the tone is different because we have Dune Part 1. It's basically the, fall of like House Atreides. And now Dune Part 2 is the rise of Paul. So how much do we talk about without spoiling the entire film? I can tell you one thing. I never read the Dune books. I wasn't raised on them. Neither was he. And we can't sit there and compare everything from this film like how the books were. So we're just going by how the film was. And yeah, with a 3 hour film, there's so much to unpack. But what do you think we should unpack without spoiling too much?
I would say just go over like general things that happen in the movie without like
Mm.
saying anything. Like,
Well, I mean, I would say the trailers don't really spoil too much, but yes, this is all about Paul Atreides and now Paul becoming the prophet. And Timothy Chalamet plays a different, I wouldn't say different version of Paul, but it's just a whole different tone than seeing the first Dune. Because, in the first film, he was just struggling with like coming to Arrakis, questioning if he's the prophet. Then, of course, his entire house gets killed and his father dies. Now it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure I am the prophet, and if I lead these people, the Fremen, what's going to happen? And he's struggling with his own power. He has to, become his own man. And I guess we do see a different, like, not a total transformation of Paul Atreides, but like a different tone with him because now he's accepting what he is. He's accepting becoming a leader, and he's a lot more, I would say, ruthless. He's a lot more meaner than he was in part one. I mean, would you agree?
yeah, I would definitely agree.
The rest of the cast, I mean, just come on, everybody brings their A game. Yes, we get Skarsgård there. He plays the big fat guy, the Baron, and he's not in the film a lot, but when he's there, the makeup is fantastic. The Baron is fat, he's demeaning. He's got that like that dull tone to him. And what was his nephew's name there?
I
Slade or
Thane.
Thane, yeah, and the guy played Elvis, and he's in the film. He plays like basically, his nephew, and he's like this big assassin dude. And I mean, the scenes are fantastic. Let's see, what was it? There was some rumors out there about Zendaya playing what's her name, Shawnee, and apparently somebody said that maybe that this film wouldn't focus that much on Paul, and it will be Shawnee's movie. That's total BS. This is still Paul Atreides' movie, and this is Paul's rise and maybe downfall. But she's there, she's supporting him. There is a quasi love story, but you know what? Zendaya, I liked her. She wasn't unbearable, and it wasn't like she's some kind of girl boss there. She's just, she's falling in love with Paul, and she's trying to help him become the man that he's supposed to be. Let's see. Christopher Walken, in case, spoilers, guys, it shouldn't be a spoiler, but he plays the Emperor, and he plays like a lesser version of Christopher Walken because everybody is like, talking like Walken usually, and we're expecting Walken to like be a certain way, and it's my Christopher Walken impression.
Holy shit, you suck at impressions.
When I think Emperor, I think of like Palpatine from Star Wars, and I think that kind of a tone. But Christopher Walken, he's not trying to be Palpatine. And guys, that's pretty much all we can say about the film because it's just this whole rebellion with the Fremen people, and of course we get the Harkonnens' homeworld. And the homeworld, I do like the whole dulcet tones, and it's in black and white. We don't spend too much time on their planet, but their planet is pretty cool for what it is. And The third act just comes down to, well, what happens with the Doom world, and can Paul save the day? Can he defeat the evil bad guys?
Let me guess, the good guys win.
So you haven't done these for a while, son, but like whenever we do my reviews, I ask and answer three very simple lazy questions. So the first lazy question is pretty basic. Did I like the film? Did you like the film? Did we like Doom Part 2? And for me, damn sure I loved Doom Part 2. I would say that Doom Part 2 maybe in some ways better than Doom Part 1. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I definitely like Dune 2 more than 1 for probably the same reason. The tone is a lot different. I like
Yeah.
the tone more in this one than the first one.
Yes. On to question number 2. Would you recommend Doom Part 2 to anybody?
I definitely would, and I definitely would recommend watching the first one if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this one wouldn't make sense without watching the first one.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to eventually when this comes on digital, watching Dune 1 and watching Dune 2 is just one big 5-hour film. And the biggest question of all is that, well, I took you to see this in IMAX, but do we think that this film is worth your hard-earned money? For me, 100% hell yes. Trust me when I say, if you get a chance, go see this in IMAX. This movie was made for IMAX. It looks so expensive. There are sandworms in the film, big explosions, there's big fight scenes. It just looks freaking amazing. So, do you think that this movie, son, is worth full price?
Oh yes, definitely.
So pretty much, that's all we can say. I'm sorry to rant. Later on during the week, I'm going to be doing this thing I call my low bar reviews, and I'm going to do a whole big, like, hour and a half, 2-hour breakdown to Dune 2. But again, we just got out of the theater and giving our first initial reactions. So every single film that I do, I have to rate. This one is no different. So how do you want to rate Dune 2? I'll go first. I think Dune 2, by all accounts, is a science fiction masterpiece. But how do you think about it? How would you rate Dune Part 2?
I would say this is also a masterpiece. This is really good.
There you go. As they say,
From the mouths of babes.
the first time I'm doing a laser review, I'm not actually drinking, shocker, but yes, this is going on at 11 o'clock at night, and as he goes to bed for school in the morning, I actually have to go right to work, and I actually have to drive, so I joke around, but, me being a big drunken idiot, but like even me, don't drink and drive, kids. So yes, my first laser review where I'm sober, and it's hurting a lot,
My father was an alcoholic.
All right, as we always do, I am low on time, and I'm checking my freaking watch, and okay, as I said, I'm going to work, he's heading to school, and I am looking forward to seeing Doom Part 2 again. I'm looking forward to buying Doom Part 2, and not for nothing, I don't think that I'm going to love any film in 2024 as much as I like Dune 2. When you get a chance, by all means, please go out and see it, okay? Yeah, let me grab Bender, let him go to bed, and, guys, we'll see you later.
This calls for a drink.
But before we go, as I always do, I do have a catchphrase.
It's called a catchphrase.
He's going to bed, and me, well, I'm heading back to work.